Caught in the act, the alien marketplace was loud and busy. Merchants shouted, children ran between legs. Food smells mixed with oil and dust in the hot air. Tira kept her head low. Her dark hood covered her face, but she could still feel eyes watching her. She wasn't like the others. Her clothes were torn, her arms were thin, her purple skin had lost its glow. Hunger had taken everything from her. Behind her, a little girl with bright eyes and bony arms walked quietly. Her name was Rinny, Tira's daughter. She had not eaten in 2 days. Her stomach growled louder than her voice. Tira looked at the bread stand again. Soft rolls stacked in piles. The merchant, a thick alien male with oily horns, was busy talking to a rich buyer. This was her chance. She whispered to Rinny, "Stay, here, don't move." Then she moved fast. 1 step, 2 steps. Her hand reached for a roll, just one. Enough to stop the pain in her child's stomach, but the merchant turned at the wrong time. "Hey!" he roared. "Thief!" The marketplace froze, eyes turned. Tira tried to run, but strong metal hands grabbed her arm. A guard, big, cold, no mercy. He slammed her to the ground. Bread rolled away and landed near Rinny's feet. "She was stealing!" the merchant shouted, spitting. "Punishment, no trial!" Rinny screamed and tried to run to her mother, but a second guard blocked her. Tira looked up, her face in the dirt. "Please, I have a child. Just 1 piece of bread. No excuses," the guard said, raising his shock baton. The crowd did nothing. Some looked away. Some laughed. No one cared about a poor alien mother, except one. A human man stepped out from the crowd. His clothes were dusty, boots worn from travel. He had a short beard and tired eyes, but they burned with anger now. His name was Marcus. "That's enough," he said. The guard stared. "Stay out of this, human." Marcus stepped closer. "How much for the bread?" "What?" the merchant barked. "She stole it. You can't just buy stolen goods." "I'll pay," Marcus said again. "Double the price." "No deal," the guard said, pressing his boot on Tira's back. "She gets punishment, that's the law." Marcus looked around. No one helped. No one even spoke. He took a deep breath and did something no one expected. He reached for his ID chip and held it up. "She's under my protection now. I invoke Clause 9, Human Mercy Act." The crowd gasped. The guard hesitated. "That law's old, it's never used." Marcus didn't blink. "It still works. Or do you want to explain to the council why you harmed a mother after a human claimed her?" For a long moment, no one moved. Then the merchant snarled, "Fine, take her, she's not worth the trouble." The guard removed his boot and stepped back. Tira blinked, confused. "Why? Why would you do this?" Marcus knelt beside her. "Because your child is watching," helped her up slowly. She could barely stand. Rinny ran into her arms, sobbing. "Mama! Mama!" Tira hugged her tightly. "It's okay, little one. It's okay now." But it wasn't okay. As Marcus led them away, a cloaked figure in the crowd turned and spoke into, "Aristovice, I found her, the thief, and the human who helped her. Tell the captain." Far behind them, someone had just placed a price on their heads. Tira sat silently inside the old cargo room. The metal walls were rusty. The light flickered overhead, but to her it felt warmer than any place she had been in months. Her daughter, Rinny, slept in her lap, finally full after Marcus gave her a protein bar and water. Her tiny chest rose and fell slowly. Her lips curled into a peaceful smile. A rare smile. Tira couldn't stop staring at the human man. Marcus sat across the room fixing a cracked circuit panel. His hands were rough but steady. He worked without talking, as if saving her life was just another part of his day. "Why?" Tira finally asked. Her voice was dry, weak. "Why did you save me?" Marcus looked up but didn't answer right away. He wiped his hands with a cloth and leaned back against the wall. "You needed help," he said simply. That was enough. Tira shook her head. "No one helps people like me." Marcus gave a soft, tired smile. Then maybe it's time someone did. Just then, a loud clang hit the outside of the ship. Marcus stood up at once. He moved to a small screen and tapped a few buttons. A security cam lit up. 2 figures were at the entrance gate, local patrol flashing red lights on their shoulders. His heart dropped. "They found us already," he whispered. Tira stood, panicked. "No, please. If they take me again, they'll separate me from Rinny. They'll send her to a mining orphanage. I'd rather die." Marcus grabbed a small box from a drawer and tossed her a gray robe. "Put this on. Hide her under the storage bay." "Where will you go?" she asked. "I'll stall them. Maybe I can buy us more time." Before she could argue, he was already outside. Outside the ship, the 2 patrol officers stood with data pads. One was human-looking, the other reptilian. Both were dressed in sleek city armor with stun pulse rifles on their backs. "Citizen Marcus," one of them said, "we have orders. You're harboring a known thief." "She's under human mercy law," Marcus replied calmly. "I filed the claim." "Yes, but the local prefect says she was caught stealing government-marked food. That makes it a federal-level crime. The law doesn't protect her now." Marcus clenched his jaw. He had heard of this loophole before. A trick used to take people who were already cleared by local mercy acts. "What if I offer a settlement?" he asked. The officers looked at each other. "She's not worth that much," one muttered. "I'll pay 5,000 credits. Transfer now." The reptilian's eyes widened. "That's almost a quarter-year wage for a ship engineer." Marcus didn't blink. "Then take it, and walk away." They hesitated. Credits blinked across their pad. The human officer tapped a few keys, then nodded. "We were never here," he said. "She was never found." They turned and left. Marcus stood still until their lights vanished. Then he turned around and saw her. Tira had been watching from behind the shadows. "You gave them money," she whispered. He nodded. "Why?" she asked again, voice trembling. "Because your daughter is sleeping without fear," he said. "Let's keep it that way." Tira lowered her eyes. "You'll lose everything helping me." Marcus sighed. "Maybe, but some things are still worth it." But neither of them saw the blinking red light under the cargo ship, a hidden tracker dropped by one of the officers. Someone had just sold Marcus out. Marcus's ship wasn't much. The rusted Starling had 1 working engine, patchy solar panels, and a hull that creaked every time it rained acid. But to Tira and little Rinny, it was heaven. For the first time in weeks, they had shelter, food, and safety. Or so they thought. Tira stood near the narrow window holding a mug of warmed synth milk. She watched her daughter play with wires and bolts like they were toys. Rinny giggled every time she connected 2 and made a tiny spark. Marcus stood nearby, arms crossed, watching too. "She learns fast," he said. "She used to play with her father's tools." Tira replied softly, "Before the war took him." Marcus didn't ask more. He could see the pain in her eyes. Some memories were still bleeding. Outside, clouds hung low over the scrapyard hills. The ship was hidden under metal sheets and broken towers, safe, for now inside Marcus was preparing for the next supply run. He placed dried ration packs into a satchel, then paused. "Stay inside while I'm gone," he said. "Lock the door, don't open it unless I knock 3 times. Tira nodded. "Is there danger?" "Always," he said, and stepped out. An hour later, the door buzzed. Tira jumped. 3 knocks? No, it was just 1 long buzz. She froze. Rinny held her arm tightly. The door buzzed again. Then a voice, soft but deep. "Open up, I'm not here to hurt you, just want to talk." She moved to the small screen near the door and turned it on. An alien male in gray robes stood there. He was lean with scars across his jaw and a long black braid. His eyes, cold and unreadable. "You're Tira, yes?" he said. "I know you're in there." Tira didn't speak. "I saw what the human did," he continued. "How he bought your freedom. Impressive. Risky. She backed away from the screen. I don't want money, he said. I want information, Tira whispered to herself. He's one of them. The hunters. The man placed something on the doorframe, a bug, a small listening device. I'll return when the stars shift, he said. And you better answer then, or others will come instead. And they don't knock. He turned and walked into the fog. Later that night, Marcus returned, cloak covered in ash. Tira told him everything. The knock, the man, the bug. Marcus took the device, crushed it under his boot, and said only one word. Pack. But where will we go? Tira asked. He looked at her, then at Rinny. The child was silent now. No more giggles. I know a place, he said, far from here, but it won't be easy. As they loaded their few belongings into the ship's back chamber, Marcus paused at his console. He ran a scan. Signal detected. Tira came beside him. What is it? He didn't answer right away. Then he pointed to a blinking dot on the screen. They tagged us, we're being tracked. Tira felt cold. Even now? Yes. He turned to her. You were trying to steal bread. Now we're both being hunted. She looked down at her. Daughter, sleeping in a crate of spare cables. Tira raised her eyes again. Stronger now. Then let's stop running, let's fight. Marcus smiled just a little. Not many would say that. You sure you're just a thief? She looked him in the eye. No, I'm a mother. And outside the stars began to blink as something approached. The wind howled across the junkyard hills. Old metal creaked. Power lines swayed like ghosts dancing in the dark. Inside the rusted starling, Marcus stayed awake. He sat near the cockpit, staring at the blinking dot still glowing on his scanner. Someone was following them, but they hadn't attacked. Not yet. Tira watched from the corner, holding a plasma cutter tight in her hands. It was too heavy for her, but it gave her comfort. Maybe they're waiting for us to run, she whispered. Like before. Marcus shook his head. This feels different, like they're watching. Just then the scanner beeped twice. Movement. Very close. Marcus reached for his blaster. Tira grabbed Rinny and backed away toward the cargo bay. Then came the knock. 3 taps. Slow. Calm. Tira froze. That's the pattern you told me to listen for. Marcus nodded slowly and approached the door. His finger hovered over the panel. The scanner showed one life form. Humanoid, but not human. He opened the door a crack. There stood a tall figure wearing a long, dark cloak. Rain slid off his shoulders. His golden eyes glowed faintly under the hood. Marcus pointed his weapon at the figure's chest. Say something useful, fast. The man raised both hands. I'm not your enemy. I came for her. He looked past Marcus, straight at Tira. She stepped forward, confused. Then her eyes widened in shock. No, she whispered. It can't be. The man pulled down his hood. Tira gasped. He was Velan, her brother-in-law, her husband's younger brother, thought to be dead during the war. You left, she said. Her voice trembled. They said you were killed in the mines. I escaped, Velan replied softly. But I couldn't come back, not until now. Marcus lowered his weapon, but not fully. What do you want from her? He asked. Velan stepped inside slowly. Not much, only to warn her. Tira stepped closer. Warn me about what? Velan looked at the child sleeping in the back, then back at her. Your daughter carries something rare, something hidden in her blood. The officials aren't chasing you because of the bread, Tira. They want her. Tira looked at Rinny. What are you talking about? You know our bloodlines were tested during the war, Velan said. Your husband, my brother, had old genetic ties to the royal houses. Rinny carries that too. Marcus frowned. Are you saying she's royal? Not officially, but close enough that corrupt leaders want to control her, or use her, or sell her. Tira staggered backward. That's why they wouldn't let us leave the city. That's why they tried to take her away. Valen nodded. And now that she's with a human, you made her even more valuable. Marcus stepped in. What do you mean? Valen's eyes narrowed. Humans are seen as noble protectors now, ever since Earth joined the Alliance. If Rinny is bonded to one, legally or emotionally, her claim becomes harder to erase. Tira's voice cracked. So they'll come harder, stronger, smarter. Valen looked at Marcus. Which is why I'm here. I know where we can hide. A place with old tech, off-grid. But we have to leave now. Marcus looked at Tira. She nodded. We trust him. Good, Valen said. Because I tracked one of their patrol drones here. You've got 5 minutes before they knock. And they don't knock like me. Marcus grabbed his gear. Tira picked up Rinny gently, and outside in the fog something metal moved, slow, heavy, and deadly. The desert was not dead. It was hiding. Marcus drove the sand runner across endless dunes, its wheels humming over ancient stone and buried wreckage. Wind carried dust like whispers. In the back, Rinny slept under old blankets. Her little hands still held a metal bolt like it was a toy. Tira sat beside her, pale and quiet. The words from Valen kept echoing in her mind. They want your daughter. Not for her. For her blood. In the passenger seat, Valen scanned the horizon with sharp eyes. We're getting close. To what? Marcus asked. Valen pointed to a rusted tower half buried in the sand. An old war bunker. Abandoned. But its defense grid still works. If we get inside, they'll lose our signal. Marcus didn't like it. How can you be sure? Valen gave a small smirk. Because I helped build it, before they turned me into a mine slave. The wind grew stronger. Lightning flashed in the distance, a sandstorm forming. Marcus pushed the runner faster. Behind them, high in the clouds, a black drone flew low, scanning. Inside the bunker, the blast doors groaned as they opened. Dust poured down like snow. Marcus, Valen, and Tira entered quickly with Rinny bundled in her arms. Inside, the air was cold. Old lights flickered to life as Valen tapped a code on a broken console. This place was built before humans even arrived in the sector, he explained. It has deep tunnels, safe tunnels. Marcus looked around. The walls were thick with old war markings, strange glyphs and worn-out warning signs. Feels like a tomb. Valen smiled. A tomb is perfect. No one looks for life in a place meant for death. Later that night, the storm outside screamed like a beast. Inside, the silence was louder. Tira sat near Rinny, who now had a mild fever. Her skin glowed too bright. She's warm, Tira whispered. She's never like this. Valen came over, holding a scanner. I was afraid of this, he said. Her blood is waking. Marcus frowned. What does that mean? Royal blood, Valen said softly. When exposed to stress, pain, or fear, it activates something in the body. Strength, memory, control. She's a child, Marcus said. She doesn't need control, she needs safety. Valen looked serious. Then you'll have to give her both. Tira looked at her brother-in-law. You're not telling us everything. Valen nodded. There's a rumor, that one. Child of royal mixed blood will be chosen as the next voice of the stars. A leader above kings. Someone who speaks for entire planets. Marcus's eyes narrowed. So they don't just want her blood. They want her future. Valen nodded. They want to own it before she even grows. Just then, the warning alarm beeped on the wall. Marcus rushed to the console. Movement South Dune, 3 heat signatures. Valen checked the defense panel. We have 1 working turret, that's it. Tira grabbed her daughter. They found us. Marcus turned to Valen. Then we fight. You said this bunker had deep tunnels? Yes. Good. Get them ready. I'll hold the entrance. Valen stared at him. Alone? Marcus smiled grimly. You think just because I'm human, I've never fought for something I care about? Valen paused, then nodded. Don't die, Marcus. Marcus picked up his blaster, checked the charge, and walked into the shadows of the corridor. Tira watched him go, eyes wide with something new. Respect. The old metal door groaned shut behind Marcus. Dust fell from the ceiling. The lights above him flickered like dying stars. He stood alone in the main tunnel just past the entrance gate, gripping his blaster with both hands. Footsteps echoed in the distance, steady, slow, confident. 3 figures emerged from the dark. 2 wore black armor with red lenses covering their eyes. Between them walked a tall female in a sleek silver cloak. Her skin shimmered like polished steel, and her voice was smooth like poison. You're the human, she said, the one who bought a thief her life. Marcus didn't move. She's not a thief, she's a mother. The armored guards raised their weapons. The woman didn't blink. You're standing in the way of something important. That child carries value beyond your understanding. Marcus raised his blaster. I don't care what she carries. I care who she is. A pause. Then the woman sighed. I admire your courage, so I'll offer you a deal. Step aside and I'll let you leave alive. Marcus chuckled once, dry and cold. Funny. That's what the pirate said back on Arco 7. I didn't move then either. One of the guards fired. Marcus rolled behind a pillar. The blast burned through old stone, sparks flying. He fired back, clean, precise. One of the guards went down. The woman didn't flinch. You'll die for them? Marcus shouted back. No, I'll kill for them. Deeper underground, Tira could hear the fight, blaster fire, echoes of war. She held Rennie close. The child's skin was still glowing faintly, her breathing fast. Valen worked on unlocking a sealed door that led deeper underground, an old escape tunnel lined with forgotten tech. I should be out there, Tira said suddenly. No, Valen replied. Your place is with her. Tira's eyes were sharp now. No, I've hidden too long, run too far. If Marcus doesn't make it back, we don't either. Valen hesitated. There's something you need to know about Marcus. She turned. What? He's not just some wandering mechanic. He was a savior unit, a human frontline protector during the fall of Enner. The kind who stood in front of explosions and didn't flinch. Tira's mouth opened slightly. Why didn't he tell me? Because men like that don't brag. They carry their pain quietly. Above them, another blast shook the walls. Tira stood. Then I won't let him carry this alone. Back at the gate, Marcus limped into a new cover spot, blood on his leg. The second guard was down, but the silver woman remained. She walked toward him calmly, energy blade in hand. You've done enough, she said. Lie down, you'll bleed out anyway. Marcus laughed, even as pain filled his voice. Still not listening. Suddenly, a plasma cutter roared. Tira leaped from the side tunnel, striking at the silver woman's arm. The blade clanged against armor. Sparks flew. Stay away from my daughter, she screamed. The woman jumped back in shock. Marcus blinked. You came back. Tira helped him up. You said you'd fight for her. I will too. The silver woman hissed and charged, but this time they stood together. One human, one alien, shoulder to shoulder. And when they fought back, they weren't just fighting to survive. They were fighting to change the ending. The first light of morning crept over the desert dunes, touching the broken bunker with golden warmth. Smoke still rose from the tunnel. The battle was over. Inside, Marcus lay on his back, chest rising slowly. His armor was cracked, blood on his side, but he was alive. Beside him, Tira crouched, pressing a cloth to his wound. Her hands were shaking, but her eyes were steady. You're going to live, she said softly. Do you hear me, Marcus? You're not dying on me now. Marcus coughed and gave a crooked smile. You sound like my old drill sergeant. From the far wall, Valen walked forward, dragging the body of the silver-cloaked woman behind him. Her weapon was destroyed, her face still and cold. She won't be following us anymore, Valen said. But more will come. Eventually. Tira looked down at Marcus. Then we don't wait. They buried the dead in the sand marked by metal scraps. Rinny placed a single bolt on one of the graves. It was the same one she used to play with. She didn't cry, but she understood. As the sun rose higher, Valen guided them toward a distant ridge. "There's a ship hidden near the canyon," he said. "One I repaired long ago. It can take you far, far from these systems." Marcus looked at Tira. "You should go somewhere safe." Tira looked at him. "And what about you?" He hesitated. "I'll hold them off. Misdirect their scans. Buy you time." Rinny ran and hugged his leg. "No, you come too." He looked down, surprised. The little girl had never spoken to him directly before. Tira's voice was quiet. "You didn't save us just once. You gave us a life. Rinny doesn't see you as human, she sees you as family." Marcus stared out across the desert. Wind blew across his face. He'd always been alone, lost after the war, searching for something that felt like purpose. Now it had found him. He turned back and smiled. "Then I guess I'm coming too. A quiet green world with trees, clean air, and soft rivers." The three of them stood outside a small stone house, smoke rising from the chimney. Tira worked in the field, planting roots. Valen had moved on, helping others like her escape the system. Inside, Marcus sat with Rinny, showing her how to repair a small engine. Her hands were quick, smart, like her mother's. "Will people find us here?" Rinny asked. "Maybe someday," Marcus said. "But if they do, we'll be ready." She looked at him. "You'll protect us?" Marcus looked into her glowing eyes. "Always." The shopkeeper laughed cruelly. "Stealing? For that runt? Not worth a credit." Then a voice from behind him said, "I'll pay." A simple sentence, a choice that changed everything, because that day, a human man did what no one else dared. He didn't just save a mother. He gave her and her child a future.